money then for you. It's about what these artifacts can tell us about early Christianity.
Exactly. But can anyone really prove the truth about the Jordan codices?
Uncovering secrets so profound they could redefine the foundations of faith and history. On March 3, 2011, the Jewish Chronicle announced an extraordinary discovery, a collection of 70 tiny books hidden in a remote Jordanian cave. These fragile volumes, no larger than a credit card and crafted entirely from lead and copper, are bound with metal rings and filled with intricate symbols and ancient writings. Believed to date back to the 1st century, carbon dating of a leather fragment found alongside them confirms their age at over 2,000 years. Could these mysterious artifacts predate the earliest biblical texts? What hidden truths do they hold about humanity's past? Scholars are just beginning to unravel their secrets, but the implications are staggering. Some experts suggest this discovery could surpass the significance of the Dead Sea Scrolls, offering groundbreaking insights into early Christianity and reshaping our understanding of religion, life, and our place in the universe.
On March 3, 2011, the Jewish Chronicle announced the discovery of dozens of lead books from Jordan.
Archaeologists recently made a groundbreaking discovery that could change the way we understand early Christianity and its roots. In a hidden cave in Jordan, a set of miniature books, known as codices, was uncovered, each no larger than the palm of a hand. These ancient artifacts, crafted from metal, feature intricate depictions of palm trees, menorahs, and other significant religious symbols. Written in an archaic form of Hebrew script mixed with coded symbols, these texts offer tantalizing glimpses into the lives and beliefs of early Christian communities. Among their most striking features are references to the Feast of Tabernacles and imagery rich in Messianic symbolism. Yet, the discovery has sparked heated debates over their authenticity and rightful ownership, drawing attention from scholars, archaeologists, and authorities worldwide. The codices first came to light through the efforts of an Israeli Bedouin, who claims they have been in his family for generations. According to him, the books were discovered by his great-grandfather, smuggled into Israel, and kept hidden ever since. This claim has ignited a fierce legal and ethical battle among the Bedouin family, archaeologists, and governmental authorities over the origins and ownership of these precious items. David Elkington, a British researcher leading a team examining the codices, expressed his awe at their potential significance. It's an enormous privilege to share this discovery with the world. To think these might have been held by the earliest saints of the Church is utterly breathtaking, he said. Early studies suggest that some of the depictions and symbols may reference the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ, raising the possibility that these artifacts could rival the significance of the Dead Sea Scrolls. If authenticated, the codices could provide invaluable insights not only for Christians, but for anyone curious about the origins of one of the world's most influential religions. The texts mention Jesus and a figure named Simon, whose identity remains a subject of debate. Some speculate that this Simon might be the man who helped Jesus carry the cross, while others suggest he could be Simon bar Kokhba, the leader of a Jewish revolt against Rome in 135 AD. These references, coupled with the ancient script and coded symbols, suggest the books could be thousands of years old. The discovery site, a hidden cave in Jordan, adds another layer of intrigue. This region has a history of preserving ancient artifacts, as early Christians often fled there to escape persecution after Jerusalem's destruction in 70 AD. Previous finds in the area include tablets, scrolls, and even incense burners, but nothing as unique as these miniature books. Their existence challenges our understanding of early Christian artifacts and raises the possibility of discovering more hidden treasures in the region. The codices text, written in Paleo-Hebrew alongside Aramaic, the common language during Jesus' time, suggests they were not created all at once, but compiled over centuries. Researchers also found passages in Greek, further complicating efforts to decode the writings. One breakthrough came from Dr. C.T. Samuel Zinner, a scholar who noticed unusual Hebrew letters laid out in a grid. This grid-like layout allowed the text to be read in multiple directions, vertically, horizontally, and diagonally. This unique structure helped researchers decode parts of the enigmatic writings, revealing more symbols associated with Judaism, such as the seven-branched menorah, temple offering bowls, and eight-pointed stars. The most shocking discovery, however, was a depiction of Jesus, possibly the earliest known image of him. This portrait shows Jesus wearing a crown of thorns, with an inscription nearby reading, "Savior of Israel." Scholars were stunned by the possibility that this image could have been created by someone who had actually seen Jesus. Adding to the mystery, the codices also depict the menorah, a sacred object traditionally kept in the holiest part of the Jewish temple and only visible to the high priest. The inclusion of such a forbidden image raises questions about the artist's access to the temple or their reasons for including it. Some researchers speculate that the codices were hidden because they contained secrets not meant to be shared, potentially explaining their concealment in the remote cave. David Elkington described the codices as a monumental find for Christianity, suggesting they might even predate the writings of the Apostle Paul, making them some of the earliest Christian artifacts ever discovered. The possibility of holding objects that early Christians might have touched has captured the imagination of scholars and the public alike. However, not everyone shares Elkington's enthusiasm. Skeptics, particularly authorities in Jordan where the books were found, have dismissed them as potential forgeries. They point to similar lead books sold as trinkets or online collectibles, casting doubt on the codices' authenticity. Some critics mockingly suggest the books were stumbled upon by a random wanderer in the cave. To settle the debate, researchers initiated rigorous testing to determine the age and authenticity of the artifacts. All 70 codices underwent analysis to establish whether they were genuine relics from the 1st century or elaborate modern fakes. The stakes are enormous. If authentic, these books could rewrite history. If not, they would join the ranks of clever forgeries that continue to intrigue and baffle historians. The codices nearly faced dismissal until a group of 9 determined scholars stepped in to save them. This independent team, led by retired Hebrew professor Robert Hayward, included experts in ancient metals and old languages. Unlike Elkington's team, they had no vested interest in the discovery and were committed solely to uncovering the truth. The first step was to analyze the metal. If the lead was genuinely ancient, it would strongly suggest the writing on it was too. One key test involved checking for radiation. As Professor Webb explained, lead naturally contains a radioactive element that fades over time. By measuring this decay, researchers could estimate the age of the material. However, the presence of radioactive particles from post-1945 atomic bomb testing complicated their work, necessitating even more precise methods. The discovery of these codices offers a tantalizing glimpse into the distant past. They could provide unparalleled insights into early Christian practices, beliefs, and the transmission of sacred texts. Yet their authenticity remains shrouded in mystery, with passionate advocates and skeptics on both sides. Whether they turn out to be genuine or forgeries, these artifacts have already sparked a wave of curiosity and debate, reminding us of the enduring quest to understand our spiritual and historical roots.
There's no doubt that they have some very intriguing symbols on them, some very intriguing messages hidden in them, but from just the metal alone.
Recent discoveries of ancient lead books, sometimes referred to as codices, have captivated researchers and historians alike. These books, found in Jordan, have offered a remarkable glimpse into the early Christian world. Their authenticity and significance have been debated extensively, but scientific testing has provided compelling evidence that these artifacts are genuinely ancient and possibly date back to the early Christian era, over 1,800 years ago. This discovery could reshape our understanding of early Christianity and its practices. One of the critical methods used to determine the age of the books involved testing for traces of radioactive residue. After 1945, atomic bomb testing introduced detectable levels of radiation into the atmosphere, which subsequently entered all materials created after that time. If these books had no traces of such radiation, they could be confirmed as older than anything produced after this period. The results were stunning. No radioactive residue was found. This confirmed that the lead in the books was not modern. Further analysis conducted at the University of Surrey added another layer of evidence. The metal composition of the books was consistent with ancient Roman lead. Unlike modern purified lead, the material in these books contained significant impurities and was far more brittle. Microscopic analysis revealed unique characteristics, such as tiny crystals and small holes in the lead, which develop only after centuries of aging. These findings overwhelmingly pointed to the books being authentic artifacts from the distant past. What makes these books particularly fascinating is their construction. Unlike traditional manuscripts, the lead pages were not inscribed but cast, with letters and symbols raised rather than etched. This method made the contents permanent, as any mistake would require recasting the entire page. This labor-intensive process suggests that these books were either original creations or extraordinarily precise reproductions of earlier works. The books themselves are small and intricately bound with rings, securing the pages on all sides. Many of them are sealed shut, raising intriguing questions about their purpose. Why go through the effort of creating detailed writings if they were never meant to be read? Some researchers speculate that the books may not have been intended for reading at all, but instead served as talismans, objects believed to offer protection or bring good luck. The ring-binding design supports this theory, as it suggests a more symbolic or ritualistic function rather than practical use. The writing and imagery in the books are equally captivating. Some letters suggest a style from after 135 AD, but this does not necessarily mean the content itself is from that period. The texts could be copies of much older teachings passed down through generations. The imagery further supports this notion. One notable illustration, analyzed by Professor Philip Davies of Sheffield University, depicts a cross in the foreground with what appears to be Jesus' tomb behind it. In the distance, city walls and a small building with an opening are visible. Davies concluded that this scene likely represents a crucifixion outside the city, a pivotal moment in Christian history. Other pages include striking illustrations like a menorah with leaves sprouting from its base and a stylized bee. These images, alongside the texts, offer a rare glimpse into the spiritual and cultural lives of early Christians. Some inscriptions even reference freedom from Roman taxes and the coming of a Messianic king who would bring peace and justice. For those living under Roman rule, these ideas represented profound hope and liberation. Dr. Margaret Barker, a respected scholar of ancient texts, has delved deeply into the mysteries of these lead books. She has suggested a potential link between these artifacts and the sealed book mentioned in the Book of Revelation, a book that could only be opened by the Messiah. Barker also points to other ancient writings that describe secret teachings passed from Jesus to his closest followers. She believes the lead books may reflect a Hebrew Christian tradition, preserving sacred knowledge from a time when early Christians were struggling to define their beliefs and practices. Another intriguing aspect of these books is their connection to metalworking. Many ancient religious traditions associate metalworking with sacred rituals. The original priests of Solomon's temple were likely skilled metalworkers, a connection reflected in the frequent use of metalworking metaphors in Hebrew scripture. For example, Isaiah 1:25 states, "I will smelt away your dross," and Malachi 3:3 mentions, "He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver." Even the word seraph, often associated with celestial beings, can also mean smelter. This link is further illustrated in Isaiah 6:6, where a seraph touches the prophet's lips with a hot coal, symbolizing purification through fire. Dr. Barker and her colleague, Dr. Samuel Zinner, have noted the unique arrangement of characters in the books. Some letters are organized in clusters or triangular patterns rather than straight lines. These patterns often mirror each other, reflecting the paired structure of creation described in ancient texts, such as the writings of Ben Sira. Barker believes these patterns encode the worldview of priests exiled from Solomon's temple, preserving their sacred knowledge and hope for the future. Despite the book's historical significance, their future remains uncertain. There are growing concerns that parts of the collection could be sold on the black market, or worse, destroyed. Scholars like David Elkington have emphasized the importance of preserving the collection as a whole. He believes these artifacts should be studied and shared with the world, as they represent invaluable testimony to the beliefs and practices of early Christians. The lead books offer an extraordinary window into the spiritual and cultural life of early religious communities. They bridge the gap between ancient practices and modern understanding, shedding light on the struggles and hopes of early Christians. For researchers, the books are more than relics. They are a testament to the resilience of an ancient priesthood and their efforts to preserve sacred traditions in exile. The artifacts also highlight the role of metalworkers in crafting sacred objects, such as the golden calf, the tabernacle furnishings, and the items in Solomon's temple, including the menorah, the Ark of the Covenant, and the table for showbread. In Zechariah 11:18-21, metalworkers are even linked to magical or spiritual practices, motifs echoed in the illustrations within the lead books. The sealed pages of the books remain a mystery. What secrets might they hold? Were they created as physical testimonies to the Messiah's words and deeds, or do they serve a more symbolic purpose? The fact that they remain sealed suggests their creators intended their contents to endure through the ages, perhaps awaiting a time when their messages could be fully understood. Whatever their purpose, the discovery of these ancient lead books has already sparked renewed interest in understanding the early Christian world. They offer a tangible connection to a time when faith was being shaped under the weight of Roman rule, and their intricate designs and symbols continue to inspire scholars and believers alike. As research continues, these tiny lead codices may yet reveal more about the stories, beliefs, and hopes of those who created them. The enigmatic lead books, small and intricate relics of the ancient world, have drawn significant scholarly attention due to their complex symbolism and potential connection to pivotal moments in biblical history. These artifacts appear to echo themes from King Josiah's 7th century BCE reforms, as described in 2 Chronicles and the Prophecies of Jeremiah. Embedded in these writings are profound theological ideas, sacred symbols, and encoded messages that preserve the worldview of their creators. Scholars, including Dr. Margaret Barker, have worked diligently to unravel their secrets, revealing their profound significance as windows into the spiritual practices and struggles of ancient religious communities. The lead books may connect directly to the sweeping reforms initiated by King Josiah during a tumultuous period in Judah's history. Josiah's reforms, aimed at purifying religious practices and centralizing worship in Jerusalem, aligned with the prophetic visions of Jeremiah, a contemporary figure. Jeremiah's vivid imagery and messages of divine judgment resonate deeply with the themes encoded in the lead books. One of Jeremiah's key visions featured an almond branch, symbolizing God's watchful protection over his people, and a boiling pot, often interpreted as a metaphor for the impending calamities facing Judah. The boiling pot's connection to metalworking imagery, a recurring theme in the lead books, could symbolize the refining of impurities. This process, both literal and metaphorical, reflects God's efforts to purify his people from their wickedness. In a striking passage, God declares to Jeremiah, "I have made you an assayer and tester among my people." Jeremiah 6:27, likening the prophet or refiner tasked with identifying and purifying moral corruption. This theme of refinement mirrors the imagery embedded in the lead books, where craftsmanship and sacred symbolism intertwine to communicate profound theological truths. Dr. Margaret Barker, a leading expert on the lead books, has highlighted their extraordinary complexity. The tablets exhibit archaic letters, often paired with modern Hebrew equivalents, alongside intricate symbols layered with multiple meanings. These details reveal the craftsmanship and spiritual depth of their creators. One of the most striking features of the books is the inclusion of patterns of letters facing different directions, converging around a central menorah. The menorah, a powerful symbol of God's presence and divine light, takes center stage in many designs, reflecting its sacred significance in Jewish tradition. Surrounding this symbol, the arrangement of letters and symbols appears to encode theological meanings. Representations of the Lord and the Messiah are embedded within these intricate designs, pointing to a deep spiritual understanding of divine concepts. The lead books, therefore, serve as more than just historical artifacts. They embody the worldview of their creators. Their fusion of sacred symbolism, skilled craftsmanship, and hidden messages reflects a profound effort to preserve spiritual knowledge amidst times of upheaval and change. The lead books reveal their secrets gradually, challenging modern scholars to decode their messages and uncover the beliefs they encode. The use of symbols with layered meanings is particularly significant. For example, certain symbols appear to represent both divine concepts and practical tools of the metalworker's craft, blending the material and spiritual worlds in unexpected ways. These encoded messages suggest that the books were created during a period of great uncertainty and transformation, when preserving sacred knowledge was paramount. The creators likely belonged to religious communities deeply connected to the priesthood and metalworking traditions. In these communities, metalworking was not just a trade but also a spiritual act, imbued with symbolic significance. The refining of metals mirrored the purification of the soul, a concept echoed in Jeremiah's prophecies and Josiah's reforms. The link between metalworking and spiritual practices is a recurring theme in ancient traditions. Metalworkers were often seen as possessing sacred knowledge, as their craft involved transforming raw materials into objects of value and meaning. In the context of the lead books, this connection takes on a profound theological dimension. The act of inscribing sacred symbols onto lead, a material associated with durability and permanence, reflects a desire to preserve divine truths for future generations. Lead, though less visually striking than gold or silver, was chosen for its enduring qualities, symbolizing the unchanging nature of God's Word. The meticulous craftsmanship evident in the books underscores the creators' reverence for their work, treating each tablet as a sacred vessel for divine knowledge. The lead books offer invaluable insights into the spiritual practices and struggles of early religious communities. These groups, facing external threats and internal divisions, sought to preserve their identity and faith through the meticulous recording of sacred knowledge. The books, with their intricate patterns and encoded messages, reflect a profound effort to sustain spiritual traditions during times of upheaval. Theological themes such as purification, divine protection, and messianic hope recur throughout the tablets, offering a glimpse into the hopes and beliefs of their creators. The inclusion of symbols representing the Messiah suggests a deep anticipation of divine intervention and redemption, central to the faith of these communities. Scholars like Dr. Margaret Barker and her team continue to decode the secrets of the lead books, uncovering new layers of meaning with each discovery. Their work not only deepens our understanding of ancient traditions but also challenges modern perceptions of the relationship between the material and spiritual worlds. The book's intricate designs and encoded messages reveal a worldview in which the sacred and the mundane are inextricably linked. Symbols such as the menorah and the boiling pot serve as bridges between these realms, embodying theological truths in tangible forms. This blending of faith and craftsmanship underscores the creativity and resilience of the book's creators, who sought to preserve their sacred traditions against all odds. Ultimately, the tiny lead books stand as extraordinary testaments to the enduring human drive to record and protect what is most sacred. Whether viewed as tools of divine symbolism, reflections of a culture grappling with change, or intricate puzzles of faith, they offer a unique glimpse into the spiritual and creative life of their time. Their discovery enriches our appreciation of history, providing a tangible connection to the hopes, beliefs, and struggles of ancient religious communities. As scholars continue to decode their secrets, The lead books serve as powerful reminders of the profound intersection between faith, craftsmanship, and the preservation of sacred knowledge. In blending theological insight with artistic ingenuity, these artifacts not only illuminate the past, but also inspire us to consider the enduring significance of sacred traditions in shaping our understanding of the divine.
Police in Turkey have recovered a Bible thought to be 1,000 years old. The holy book, which was found in the central Turkish city of Tokat.
Israeli archaeologists working to prevent caves in the area from being looted filmed the moment of their discovery. They'd found ancient verses from the books of the prophets Zechariah and Nahum in the Hebrew Bible.
Imagine stumbling upon an ancient book, a time capsule of stories from the past. But this isn't just any book. It's a newly discovered Bible that's sparking debates across the globe, from Christian believers to atheists alike. Hidden within its pages are shocking secrets and chilling tales that have the world buzzing. What exactly is written in these ancient texts? And why should it matter to everyone, no matter your beliefs? Let's dive in and uncover the mind-blowing mysteries buried within this legendary find. We are Jesus' Eternal Aura. In today's video, you will have appropriate answers to all the questions above. Before you know what happened, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and click the bell icon for all the latest updates.
Cuneiform tablets, ancient Mesopotamian clay tablets, clay bullae, and seal impressions. This is just a fraction of the artifacts that were stolen from archaeological sites in Iraq and smuggled into the United States.
The discovery of the ancient Book of St. Barnabas has captivated both scholars and believers worldwide, offering a new perspective on the life and teachings of Jesus Christ. Christians have long been immersed in the narratives of the Bible, with its two major sections, the Old and New Testaments, forming the foundation of their faith. These scriptures recount the story of Jesus, his teachings, and his crucifixion, serving as evidence of his earthly existence. Despite some minor variations in the details across the Bible's books and authors, the overarching message remains consistent, confirming Jesus' presence in history. However, the recent unearthing of a 2,000-year-old text challenges some of Christianity's core beliefs, particularly the widely accepted story of Jesus' crucifixion. This remarkable discovery is not a Bible in the conventional sense, but rather an ancient manuscript attributed to St. Barnabas, a close associate of Apostle Paul. This text came to light during a foiled smuggling attempt by antiquities thieves, and alongside other treasures, this document was preserved. The book itself is made of animal hide, written in an ancient and highly challenging to replicate script. What makes this manuscript even more intriguing is the language in which it was written: Syriac, a dialect of Aramaic, which is believed to be the native language of Jesus. Estimated to be between 1,500 and 2,000 years old, this book has been valued at approximately $20 million. However, it is not just the age, value, or craftsmanship of the text that has piqued the interest of scholars and religious historians. It is the content of the Gospel of Barnabas that has drawn the most attention. The narrative within this Gospel offers a version of events that radically differs from the canonical Gospels of the New Testament, specifically in its account of Jesus' crucifixion and divine status. According to the Gospel of Barnabas, it was not Jesus who was crucified, but Judas Iscariot, the disciple who betrayed him. In this version of the story, Jesus ascends to heaven while still alive, evading death on the cross entirely. This claim directly contradicts the New Testament's central account, which holds that Jesus was crucified, died, and was resurrected 3 days later. Furthermore, the Gospel of Barnabas presents Jesus not as the Son of God, a fundamental tenet of Christian belief, but as a prophet who was sent to deliver God's message. This perspective aligns more closely with Islamic teachings about Jesus, known in Islam as Isa, who is also considered a prophet and not divine. The book's most provocative accusation, however, is its portrayal of Apostle Paul as an impostor. Paul is one of the most significant figures in Christian history, credited with writing many of the letters in the New Testament and playing a pivotal role in spreading Christianity throughout the Roman Empire. For the Gospel of Barnabas to challenge Paul's legitimacy is a bold assertion that has raised many questions among scholars. This discovery has prompted a re-examination of the formation of the New Testament itself. Some researchers speculate that early church councils may have deliberately excluded the Gospel of Barnabas from the biblical canon due to its controversial nature. These councils, which decided which books would be included in the Bible, may have preferred more conventional and theologically aligned texts over those that presented radically different views. The exclusion of such texts may have shaped the theological framework of Christianity as it is known today. Adding to the mystery is the fact that Saint Barnabas is one of the few prominent figures in Christian history whose death is not recorded in the Bible. This omission has led some scholars to suggest that the Gospel of Barnabas may have been excluded from the canon precisely because it lacked this crucial detail, further complicating its acceptance by early Christian authorities. Despite this, the ancient manuscript continues to draw interest from both religious scholars and the Vatican itself, which has launched its own investigation into the text. For those who have studied the contents of the Gospel of Barnabas, many now believe that the book is genuine and not a forgery. The historical, linguistic, and cultural elements of the text have been thoroughly examined, and while some skepticism remains, there is growing consensus that the manuscript is an authentic piece of early Christian history. This discovery of the Gospel of Barnabas is not the only revelation that has stirred controversy within Christian circles. The Catholic Church, with its deep and complex history, has long held vast collections of ancient scriptures and documents, some of which remain inaccessible to the public. The Vatican's Apostolic Archive, which spans an astonishing 53 miles, is said to house tens of thousands of books chronicling historical events, many of which are shrouded in mystery. It is within these hidden records that some believe further insights into Christian history may lie, including possibly forgotten or suppressed texts that challenge traditional beliefs. The Bible, revered as one of the most sacred texts in history, has a long and complex history of its own. It is believed to have been written around 1000 BC by figures like Moses, and includes many of the most famous stories of the Christian faith. From the parable of the Good Samaritan to the miracle of feeding thousands with just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, the Bible has shaped the spiritual lives of billions of people throughout history. Yet, despite its immense influence, the original version of the Bible contained more books than are found in today's editions. 14 texts from the original Bible remain undisclosed in contemporary versions, raising questions about what else may have been omitted or altered throughout history. This sense of mystery surrounding the Bible, along with the rediscovery of ancient texts like the Gospel of Barnabas, continues to fuel scholarly inquiry and public curiosity. Whether these texts provide new insights into the life of Jesus or offer alternate perspectives on religious history, they add complexity to the Christian narrative and invite believers and scholars alike to explore the deeper layers of their faith. In addition to these ancient scriptures, religious history is filled with stories of mysterious beings and spiritual phenomena. One such concept is that of demonic possession, the idea that a person's behavior may be controlled by an external spirit or demon. Accounts of demonic possession often involve symptoms such as memory loss, loss of self-control, and hearing voices. While such stories have been part of religious and cultural traditions for centuries, they continue to captivate the imagination today, appearing in various forms of media and popular culture. One particularly well-known figure in the realm of demonic entities is Valak, a demon whose presence has been featured in various films and stories. However, in contrast to its portrayal in popular culture, where it is often depicted as a nun, Valak is described in ancient texts such as the Lesser Key of Solomon as a powerful being capable of commanding serpents to do its bidding. This depiction of Valak adds another layer to the complex and often misunderstood narratives surrounding demonic possession and spiritual warfare. Ultimately, the discovery of the Book of St. Barnabas and the ongoing exploration of ancient religious texts highlight the richness and complexity of Christian history. These revelations invite both believers and scholars to delve deeper into the foundations of their faith, challenging long-held assumptions and offering new perspectives on the life of Jesus, the formation of the Bible, and the mysteries that continue to shape religious belief today.
The Epistle of Barnabas is a curious epistle that surprisingly has some messages that ring true with modern Christians.
The exploration of ancient texts, particularly those delving into the supernatural, captivates historians and scholars alike. Among these, a particular book stands out, weaving together spells, magical tricks, natural mysteries, and ancient wisdom, all of which center around the mysterious figure of Valak. This enigmatic being, though central to certain mythologies, is just one among many entities that populate ancient lore. Countless similar figures have either faded into obscurity or been deliberately concealed, leaving an air of mystery surrounding their origins. Many novels across time have explored these creatures, though much remains hidden within historical texts and volumes tucked away from public view. Speculation about secret documents stored within the Vatican only adds to the intrigue, suggesting that many untold secrets about these beings are unlikely to ever surface. Italy and Ireland, two nations steeped in religious tradition, are home to a growing number of religious experts, including Vatican and Anglican priests, who agree on one troubling phenomenon: the rise of demonic possession. Both religious and scientific professionals have raised concerns, though they also caution against the potential for spiritual abuse. Father Dino, a respected exorcist from Sicily, notes the ongoing debate within the Catholic Church about the legitimacy and understanding of exorcism practices. He stresses the importance of proper training for exorcists, acknowledging that even those well-versed in exorcisms can make mistakes. Across the water in Ireland, Father Collins has seen a growing demand from the public for guidance in dealing with perceived demonic forces, reflecting an increase in people seeking help for spiritual afflictions in recent years. Biblical references provide some historical context for exorcism practices, particularly through the accounts of Jesus casting out demons from the afflicted in the New Testament. Catholic priests have since developed a framework to categorize different forms of demonic possession. One such type is obsession, characterized by irrational behavior, obsessive thoughts, and self-harm tendencies. These symptoms often manifest in nightmares, tormenting the individuals they afflict. Another form, known as possession, takes control of the victim's body, forcing them to act against their morality and values. This form of possession is often viewed as a result of the individual's actions that may have opened the door to satanic influence, suggesting a level of responsibility on the victim's part in Catholic doctrine. Exploring these spiritual phenomena within religious contexts adds layers of complexity to the conversation, inviting questions about faith, the supernatural, and personal accountability. The Catholic Church distinguishes between possessions and infestations, where demons inhabit objects, animals, or even houses. Another lesser-known phenomenon is subjection, where individuals willingly surrender their free will and allow themselves to become vessels for demonic forces. While this concept is rare, it demonstrates the Church's belief in varying degrees of spiritual influence. Signs of possession can be both strange and alarming. Some victims exhibit superhuman strength, speak in languages they have never learned, or possess knowledge of obscure information previously unknown to them. These individuals may also display heretical beliefs, excessive rage, or engage in constant swearing. Catholic doctrine, however, urges caution, as such behaviors can sometimes be symptoms of mental health issues. the Church stresses the importance of differentiating between genuine possession and psychological conditions, warning against conflating the two. Exorcisms are viewed as remedies for possession, but are subject to strict guidelines within the Catholic Church. Only authorized priests, acting under the supervision of a bishop, are permitted to perform exorcisms, following a rigorous process. Despite these regulations, many people bypass the official channels, seeking help from unauthorized exorcists. This clandestine pursuit of spiritual relief adds another layer of intrigue to the world of exorcisms and the Church's role in addressing demonic activity. In addition to these spiritual mysteries, religious texts outside the canonical Bible, such as the Gospel of Thomas, offer a different perspective on early Christianity. Among the early Christian writings that did not make it into the New Testament, few have captured modern readers' imaginations as much as this Gospel. The Gospel of Thomas presents a radically distinct vision of Christianity, one that resonates deeply with independent spiritual seekers of the modern age, regardless of their religious affiliations. Rather than narrating the events of Jesus' life, the Gospel of Thomas comprises 114 sayings attributed to Jesus. While some of these sayings echo versions found in the New Testament books of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, most are unique to the Gospel of Thomas. Notably, saying number 17 also appears in 1 Corinthians 2:9, attributed to the Apostle Paul. This overlap provides a fascinating connection between the Gospel of Thomas and the New Testament, although the majority of its content is exclusive to this text. The name Thomas plays a significant role in understanding this Gospel's message. The name, which means twin in both Aramaic and Syriac, implies a profound spiritual connection between Thomas and Jesus. However, much like the New Testament Gospels, the Gospel of Thomas is not written by the apostle himself. Instead, Thomas is portrayed as Jesus' spiritual twin, symbolizing a deep spiritual resemblance achieved through the attainment of gnosis. This term, gnosis, refers to salvation through mystical knowledge and an experiential understanding of the true spiritual nature of reality, particularly the essence of the self. This concept of gnosis sets the Gospel of Thomas apart from other Christian writings. It presents the possibility that anyone can achieve a mystical likeness to Jesus. This idea is encapsulated in saying 108, where Jesus declares, "Whoever drinks from my mouth will become as I am. I too will become him, and the hidden things will be shown to him." Here, gnosis is not simply intellectual knowledge, but a deeper, spiritual awareness that transcends ordinary understanding. The text suggests that this form of knowledge cannot be fully communicated through words alone, but must be experienced. Jesus' responses to his disciples in the Gospel of Thomas often take the form of enigmatic sayings rather than straightforward instructions. When the disciples seek clear guidelines for salvation, Jesus rebukes their literal interpretations, encouraging them instead to embrace a more intuitive and subtle mode of understanding. This theme of transcending rigid critical thought echoes throughout the Gospel, urging readers to engage with the text on a spiritual level rather than a purely intellectual one. The Gospel of Thomas reflects early Christian concerns with Jesus' second coming and the imminent arrival of God's kingdom. However, its emphasis on individual spiritual transformation through gnosis offers a distinctly different approach to salvation, one that continues to captivate modern readers. By inviting individuals to seek a mystical understanding of reality, the Gospel of Thomas offers a spiritual journey that challenges conventional religious frameworks and encourages a deeper exploration of faith. The Nephilim, a mysterious and debated group mentioned briefly in the Bible, have captured the imagination of scholars and theologians alike. Many posit that these figures were the offspring of the sons of God and human women, an idea prominently outlined in the first book of Enoch, a non-canonical Jewish text. Enoch describes the Nephilim as giants of extraordinary size, linking them to supernatural origins and suggesting their existence was the result of a divine and human union. This association with divine beings raises complex theological questions about the possibility of angels or demons physically mating with humans. Some interpretations of the Nephilim emphasize their extraordinary stature and might, proposing that these figures were not just larger than life physically, but were also great warriors. Their supernatural lineage seems to explain their perceived enormity and strength. However, this perspective opens up further debate, particularly around the role of angels and demons in human affairs. An alternative viewpoint, less rooted in the supernatural, suggests that the Nephilim were simply sinful men. This interpretation is part of what is called the Scythian view, which was supported by early Christian figures like Saint Augustine and various Jewish scholars. According to this perspective, the Nephilim were descendants of Seth, Adam's righteous son, who later turned away from God. The daughters of mankind mentioned in these passages are understood to be the ungodly women descended from Cain, the wicked son of Adam. This interpretation avoids the notion of supernatural beings mating with humans, instead framing the Nephilim as ordinary people who had forsaken their divine heritage. The Nephilim's towering stature and reputation as great warriors have led to numerous interpretations about their place in ancient narratives, whether taken literally or metaphorically. The first book of Enoch, a significant text in this discussion, ventures beyond the Nephilim and delves into the Apocalyptic with its parables of similitude. This section offers prophetic visions about the Son of Man and the Ancient of Days, concepts that align closely with later biblical prophecies, particularly those found in the Book of Revelation. The Book of Enoch also contains an astronomical book, which provides intricate details about the stars and their roles, as well as a fantastical visions section. These prophecies span the entirety of human history, navigating through events from the beginning of time to the end times and final judgment. Enoch's detailed descriptions of celestial events and their significance add an element of mystery and awe to the text, drawing parallels to the structure and themes found in the Book of Daniel, particularly in its week's prophecy section. Throughout the various parts of Enoch, there is a common theme of impending punishment for the wicked and blessings for the righteous. A surprising revelation occurs in the Noah sections of the book, where a previously untold story of Noah emerges. This narrative sheds light on the sorrows experienced by his father, Lamech, and his grandfather, Methuselah. It also reveals Noah's divine mission to save humanity. However, this story introduces an interesting inconsistency with the Bible. According to the Bible, Enoch ascended to heaven long before Noah was born, yet Enoch chapter 10 verses 1 to 3 mentions Noah in connection with a divine message. In this passage, the Most Holy One speaks to Lamech's son in the presence of the archangel Uriel, instructing him to deliver a crucial message to Noah about the impending flood. This raises an intriguing question. How could Enoch have known about Noah and the flood if he ascended to heaven before Noah's birth? This enigma deepens the mystery surrounding the Book of Enoch, as it appears to present knowledge and events not accounted for in the Bible. Another striking element of Enoch's narrative is its attribution of the earth's pollution to a demon named Azazel. In chapter 10, verses 8 to 9, it is alleged that Azazel, under demonic influence, imparted knowledge that led to widespread wickedness, defiling the earth. This accusation is notable because the Bible primarily mentions Lucifer, or Satan, as the source of sin, without delving into additional named demons. While the existence of other demons is possible, their identities remain largely undisclosed, and Satan is typically held responsible for the world's troubles. In contrast, the Book of Enoch introduces other fallen beings like Azazel, suggesting a broader demonic influence on the world. However, the Bible is clear in 1 John chapter 3 verse 8 that the devil is the originator of sin, and the purpose of the Son of God's manifestation is to dismantle the devil's influence. According to Christian doctrine, the devil's fate is sealed, as Matthew 25:41 describes a future where Satan and his angels will be cast into the eternal fire, prepared for their destruction. This biblical passage underscores the unrepentant nature of Satan and his angels, marking their inevitable doom. The Book of Enoch, however, presents an intriguing twist on this narrative. In chapter 13, lines 5 to 6, it suggests that the fallen angels experienced regret for their actions, a sharp contrast to the biblical view of their fate. This remorse is significant because, according to Christian theology, repentance is the key to salvation from hellfire. Yet the Bible consistently portrays Satan and his angels as unrepentant. Enoch's portrayal of fallen angels introduces the idea that, after their rebellion, they lost the ability to communicate with God, claiming an inability to lift their eyes to heaven. This concept contrasts with biblical passages like Job chapter 1, where Satan is depicted as engaging in direct communication with God in heaven. The differing depictions of heaven and the interaction between God and fallen beings add to the complexity of the Book of Enoch's narrative. The book's apocalyptic vision culminates in an image reminiscent of the heavenly city described in Revelation chapter 21, verse 21, where the streets are paved with gold that gleams with the purity of translucent glass. This awe-inspiring vision of heaven captures the imagination and serves as a powerful conclusion to the book's themes of judgment, salvation, and divine justice. The Book of Enoch offers a unique and multifaceted perspective on ancient prophecies, celestial beings, and human history. Its portrayal of the Nephilim, fallen angels, and the end times continues to intrigue readers, sparking theological debates that resonate with both biblical and extra-biblical traditions. Despite its non-canonical status, Enoch remains a valuable text for understanding ancient Jewish thought and its influence on later Christian eschatology. The Book of Enoch, an ancient and mysterious text, offers a celestial vision that transcends earthly imagination. In chapter 14, verse 10, we are presented with a description of a divine architecture made from crystal, a dazzling image of the heavenly realm that seems otherworldly. This is just one of the many extraordinary passages that separate the Book of Enoch from other biblical narratives, painting a picture of the heavens that challenges not only religious texts, but also modern scientific understanding. In chapter 14, verses 9 through 25, the narrative takes an intriguing turn as Enoch's journey through the celestial spheres reveals anomalies and unexpected visions. These heavenly descriptions raise questions about how these accounts align with established scripture and at the same time push the boundaries of contemporary science. The Book of Enoch delves into realms of astronomical and meteorological phenomena that defy conventional wisdom, drawing the reader into a world that is as perplexing as it is mesmerizing. One of the most striking examples of this cosmic mystery is found in chapter 33, verses 1 through 4, where Enoch claims to have mapped and numbered every star in the sky. This is an astonishing claim, particularly when contrasted with the biblical passage in Jeremiah 33:22, which suggests that the stars are too numerous to count. Modern science, too, backs up this impossibility. Astronomers estimate that the Milky Way alone contains around 100 million stars, with an incomprehensible number of galaxies stretching across the universe, each filled with countless stars. Yet, the Book of Enoch invites readers to imagine a cosmic cartographer, charting the heavens with a precision that defies both logic and science. In chapter 41, the Book of Enoch ventures even further into the fantastical, claiming that wind, snow, hail, and even the moon come from a wooden receptacle in the celestial heights. This imagery is whimsical and borders on the unbelievable. standing in stark contrast to both biblical teachings and rational thought. Such extraordinary claims naturally prompt reflection on why the Book of Enoch was excluded from the biblical canon. Perhaps it is in these divergences from mainstream belief that we begin to see why the book did not find a place among the sacred texts of the Bible. The Book of Enoch is not merely a source of inspiration for some. It is a sprawling narrative that weaves together the past, present, and future, touching on creation, the coming of Jesus Christ, and the day of judgment. Remarkably, this ancient text encapsulates much of the biblical story, including the essence of Genesis and beyond. However, the question remains, why does the Book of Enoch remain outside the Bible? Despite its rich content and the profound themes it explores, the Book of Enoch is not considered canonical scripture. It lacks the divine inspiration that characterizes biblical texts. Instead, it occupies a space in apocryphal literature, appearing alongside other writings like the Book of Baruch. Yet, its frequent contradictions with the established biblical narrative lead to skepticism. Scholars have categorized the Book of Enoch as pseudepigrapha, suggesting that its true author may not be Enoch at all. One of the most notable contradictions in the Book of Enoch involves the timeline of Noah. In the biblical narrative, Enoch ascends to heaven long before Noah's time, yet Noah is mentioned in the Book of Enoch as if they were contemporaries. This temporal discrepancy further deepens doubts about the authenticity of the text. It is likely that the Book of Enoch was written after the time of Enoch, possibly by someone who adopted his name to lend credibility to their work. For readers seeking a guide to gospel doctrines, the Book of Enoch may not offer much clarity. Interestingly, though, there is evidence that the Book of Enoch was widely known in the early church. For example, the New Testament figure Jude appears to have drawn from the Book of Enoch in his writings. During his time, the text was recognized and respected, and Jude utilized a passage from it to strengthen his argument for the gospel. This acknowledgement of the Book of Enoch highlights its historical significance, even if it did not make its way into the canonical Bible. There are different versions of the Book of Enoch, with the Ethiopic version being the most widely recognized today. However, this version is also considered pseudepigraphical, meaning that its authorship is in question, and it was likely written after the time of Christ. The intention behind the Book of Enoch seems to have been to preserve the wisdom and teachings attributed to Enoch, yet this effort was complicated by the limitations of oral tradition. For example, Methuselah, a prominent biblical figure and the son of Enoch, is conspicuously absent from the text, raising further doubts about the reliability of its content. The Book of Enoch invites readers on a journey into a complex world where history, mythology, and religious tradition intertwine. It is a text that defies easy categorization, presenting a vision of the cosmos that is both awe-inspiring and confounding. While the Book of Enoch may not illuminate gospel doctrines in the way canonical texts do, it remains a fascinating exploration of ancient beliefs and the mysteries of the universe. The quest to understand the Book of Enoch is a journey that extends beyond the boundaries of established scripture and historical accuracy. It is a search for meaning in a world of contradictions and cosmic wonder, where the line between truth and fiction blurs. The Book of Enoch stands as a testament to the power of ancient storytelling and the enduring human desire to grasp the mysteries of the heavens. For those who approach it with an open mind and discerning eyes, the Book of Enoch offers a rich tapestry of insights, both inspiring and perplexing, that continue to captivate readers across generations.
Not only has he got rid of Jesus, who was a troublemaker, and he wanted to get rid of him anyway, but he's also goaded the chief priests into this terrible declaration that they have no king but Caesar.
So that Jesus dies. The Romans are the unwilling participants who never want to see this, who would stop it if they could. This is completely spurious history.
Did Pontius Pilate write a detailed report to Emperor Tiberius about Jesus, covering his miracles, trial, crucifixion, and resurrection? And if such a report exists, does it reveal any astonishing details that aren't found in the Gospels? Plus, we'll explore the significance of the Pilate stone discovered in Caesarea Maritima in 1961. What does this artifact tell us about the crucifixion of Jesus? We are Jesus' eternal aura. In today's video, you will have appropriate answers to all the questions above. Before you know what happened, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and click the bell icon for all the latest updates.